You can basically figure Mythbusters and Dirty Jobs would probably, I would guess if they had a chance, they'd probably go through 1,000 of them a year, because you bust one up and get another one. They're inexpensive, but they do a good job. Because at NAB last year, they sold out so many of them. I mean, everybody in the place was buying. What did they do? 144. I mean, gross.
Oh, actually, I was surprised at that. They didn't even have time to stock them all on the shelves.
Because
I mean, there was literally a line. In fact, they were selling them at their booth, and they had to sell them in the NAB store because
they were causing a line that was too big, which was funny. A line, which is what they really want on the floor, is to have people so happy with a product that there's a line halfway through the building. But it was so many people, they shipped them up to the NAB booth, and they were as fast as they were opening the boxes, people were buying them.
I know, that shows you just how popular they were. Now this one, Mito Corporation, MITO Corp.com. Okay, this actually was really kind of cool. This was a mirror, right? Just like your rear view mirror, but it does auto dimming, and there's a 3.3-inch rear camera. It's right there in your mirror. Which
is a lot less distracting than having it mounted in a dashboard where most of the things are, because in reality, the dashboard in California is supposedly illegal. Because it can't have anything that you have to look down on that takes your eyes off of what's in front of you. But with the up there with your visor, mirror, you can basically still see behind you and see the camera too when you back up. So
yeah, that's kind of practical, kind of fun. The next one, now this one is a really hot product,
which everybody knows about. Yeah.
Cobra. Remember Cobra, the radar detection company?
Yeah.
Now, this one is unique because it's Bluetooth-enabled radar laser red light camera detector that works with an iPhone and iPod Touch.
I know. We just got our first over Android, so there's all sorts of cute little things that go with the Android.
And first of all, if you've got an Android, there's a lot more apps actually available for Android than there are for iPod.
That's right.
Although, every time they talk about it, it's like, we've got an iPhone, it's for the iPhone.
Yeah, tip about...
But they'll usually do the other one real quickly.
We'll give you a real quick tip about the apps that you're getting for a lot of this stuff uses apps. Read carefully, because a lot of them give the company the right to know everything that's on your cell phone, everything you're doing, and the right to remove the stuff on your SD chip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like it allows them, you have to read those. It allows access to your SD card to, I'm going, what?
And you give them the right to all information. You legally give them the right to gather information about everything you're doing. And then just simply blank out your chip, so you lose everything on your cell phone if they so choose. It's legal.
Yeah, and here's the other part is if you are syncing, because they want you to sync, and this happened to a friend of mine, you're syncing your cell phone with your computer, right? Because you've got a business. Well, you lose your cell phone because they're synced. Someone steals your cell phone, and guess what they do? They wipe it out, which wipes out your business.
Yeah.
Unless you've got it backed up.
Which brings us to the fact that basically what is hot is docking stations for your iPhones and other things.
Oh wait, I know, but we're getting into that later though.
Well,
it's not for cars
it goes with cars.
Oh, they have iPhone docking stations?
Yeah, they have iPhone. That's why I said the cell phone brings into the fact that there are numerous docking stations available to put that expensive iPhone you got into to make it live up to all its function. Basically, you plug it in and it goes into your car stereo system, and those songs that you're not supposed to have on your iPhone because they basically share stuff, you can run through your car then.
Ooh.
And basically, I'm not certain, but the one guy told me you can basically dock it and run the stored videos off of the system on screens that are behind the back seats, because he said we would never illegally let you watch anything on the front.
Ha 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 ha.
Can't. Yeah.
Now this one I thought was cool. That shows you how much.
No, she liked the little girl in the candy shop.
Well, because if you're working on your car, see, part of it is if you are working on a house and you're doing things, some of the things that you use for cars, you can also use on a house, especially for fine carpentry, because
that's the finished carpentry. It's the same. What they're using here mostly Finished carpentry basically doesn't use wet and dry sandpaper. This probably uses wet and dry, which means it basically functions better in a damp environment than it does in a dry. It goes longer.
Well,
it gives you a smoother fit.
And remember those like floating devices, those long tubes that people use in their pool?
Yeah.
These are soft sanders, they're different colors, different shapes. And so, you know, they're like long pieces. Some of them are shorter, longer, different shapes.
Yeah.
So I thought it was kind of cool because, you know, like some of the parts of the car, it's edged and you can just go ahead and sand it real gently with that whole piece.
Best thing would be, best way to describe it would be, have you seen all all those different shapes that they have for things that allow you to put paint in corners and paint, straight lines, curved
it makes your
lines?
life a whole lot easier.
Because this basically you can get it up there where
because you've got all one piece and you go shh.
That's right.
And you sand it for finishing.
Yeah, it just makes it okay. The wider the piece you can do. Okay, just put it this way. I wouldn't trust her with one because she doesn't have a gentle touch. Okay. But if you have a real light touch, basically, you sit there and go all the way down. It is for really sharp finishing work on a car because you can tell I've worked on cars since I was a little fella.
Okay, now this one, I mentioned this to you and I thought this one was really cool.
I know.
It's a turbo shear. The company is Malco, M-A-C-L, Malco Tools. M-A-L-C-O Tools.
Okay, think the jaws of life and think this big. Because it comes down, but it's using the power of the...
Yeah, you make a turbo shear, but you use your hand, your hand drill.
Yeah, but basically, and then you don't have to go buy the drill. Basically, you use.
Because you already have the drill.
I think you use 14.4, which basically nobody has a 14.4.
I know, used with a minimum of 14.4. Everybody's got much higher than that one.
I think my fire stuff out there is like about 16.
Mine is higher than that, and I got it like. It's like I bought it because it's like anything higher than that, as a girl, they said I wouldn't use anyway.
Yeah, well, she does. She uses the drill for many purposes.
Yeah. So this one is, it will cut square cuts in 18 gauge mild steel.
Yeah. If you're doing body and fender work on your car, sometimes you got to cut pieces out of the way because what happens is, say somebody has damaged your car, and you don't want you need to cut that broken pieces out. So you can go in with something like this and go, whether you use that. I've had to use the hand stuff, folks, our power grinder.
Yeah.
And basically you can go in with your thing, go snip, and then get yourself a nice little area that you can plug up. You just put your patch across it, put some Bondo on it and sand over it, and you've done it real quickly.
Yeah. This one I thought was a lot of fun. Oh, actually, we'll do this one first because somehow I didn't get it on my other list.
Yeah.
This is a, what is the technical name for this?
I would assume it's a...
Come on. Oh, it's called a TV hat.
Yeah, a TV hat.
Yeah.
Basically, it's got a bill like about this down here, so you might be able to go down like that, so...
A personal theater for viewing films and video.
I got it.
What?
Because it's so bloody bright outside.
Right, it's a really long-billed hat, so you can just sit there and watch it because it covers the shade.
Anybody say we can't see our 3D cameras, LED, our mirror when we're trying to see out in the bright light? So you sit there and go like that. Hey, so actually I'm in focus, aren't I? Somebody's selling it to the wrong people, folks.
See, did you ever wonder why like all those photographers have hats on?
But a lot of them are going like this, they're taking the hat off.
Yeah.
The more technical the camera gets, the more god-awful hard it is to see what you're doing. You can't see these screens.
So, see, was that a kind of a funny one?
No, that was a smart one.
That's a smart one.
Wrong people. Smart idea. That's a CES item, folks.
Oh, it really kind of is. But you know what? We'll work with this anyway. Oh, the Bubba Rope.
Yeah, Bubba Rope. I know.
Come on, I like the name.
I know, the Bubba Rope.
And it says it's a tougher kind of recovery rope developed from military specs for safety recovering on all off-road vehicles from mud, sand, or snow. And I will tell you, I saw this rope.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, I think that rope is bigger than my wrist.
Yeah. I can guarantee you the
And
biggest...
it's all webbed and woven together.
Yeah, but most people have the standard, which is
The marine rope is good, too.
a web, and it's about 2 inches long, and they use that to pull. They will snap on you. I mean,
Now this one, a Bubba rope.
no, that's a military technique. That
Yeah.
I don't think that's likely to snap on you like the old web piece. I mean, it's fun.
I'm sitting there looking at it going, I bet you could pull up a car with that practically.
No, that's what it's for.
Oh, okay.
It's for pulling things off. We're recovering all off-road vehicles from mud, sand, or snow. It's also a tow thing.
So actually, that's a good practical gift.
Yeah, it's good if you're an off-roader. If you're an off-roader, you actually really need something to be able to pull yourself out, because you can always find somebody that's got something big and powerful, but they don't always have. What happens is, what you do, like in the fate, most of the people that bust them, they sit there and tie a knot in the thing. It gets, like you end up, every time it breaks, you end up a foot shorter.
Before I saw this, the toughest rope that I saw was the boat, the yacht, from the marine ropes.
Yeah.
And everybody's not near a marina, so you cannot typically go buy that. But
so you have to buy what's standardly available, which is like a 2-inch, web thing that's got connections on the end. Basically, got hooks on the end. You sit there and run it through your bumper underneath your carriage, and you sit there and basically hook the one rope, hook the hook over the thing, and then you pull it.
Yeah,
and they will snap.
But I did like the Bubba rope very much. I mean, I know that sounds kind of
because
crazy.
it's a military thing. She likes military stuff.
Now this one right here, Continental Tire. Yeah. I stopped there, and he was sitting there thinking, well, Continental Tire, because they did sponsor the media room, so thank you, Continental
actually,
Tire.
it did.
They did have masseuses there.
Yeah.
But the real reason.
It did win the award as I think it won in the new product category, didn't it?
Yeah. I'd have to take a look and see exactly what the award was. I got stopped because there were these guys that were staring at the tire. Yeah. And I asked them, I said, is that tire really that great? Yeah. And they're sitting there staring at it and they're going, yeah, look at that tire. So.
Which leads me over to, okay, we got a piece going up that will be up before you see this, which is hand-cooked tires. Well, hand-cooked tires has built a brand new, all-season tire that basically throws more water than any other tire invented before.
Oh, actually, that's probably a good one to have too. Yeah. Now, this tire from Continental, this is for off-road. Yeah. And it's developed by engineers and off-road racers. The tire is called the Grabber. Yeah. For the ultimate full traction tire.
Yeah. And I actually saw one of the, how they design the tires is basically they take a big clay model, and people come through with little scoops, and they sit there and figure out that, it's not really highly technical. They figure out a scoop, and then another thing, and hash marks, a scoop, hash marks, and they decide, they know that the more area you can get contact with the ground,
the better
off you're going to be. So this is why those threads are like they are on off-road vehicles. It's not, it's not a decoration. It's so that they can have more contact with the ground. Mm-hmm. The more scoops, the more pieces you have scooped out, the more mud, the more water, the more snow you're going to throw off underneath the tires because you've got a traction. Mm-hmm. This is why I think this tire basically had the best scoop design, which is what made it probably the way it was. It really is an art. I mean, the guy over at one of the tire places told me, he said you really have to have a person that, an artist to be able to do this, because you have to make it look aesthetically beautiful for the people that buy it, and you have to make it completely practical, because if you do too much scoops, you destroy the tire. If you don't do enough scoop, it doesn't work like you need it to be done.
Wow, that sounds like there's a real fine line.
There is a fine line. Yeah. He said you have to, like I said, you have to have an artist that understands the aerodynamics of traction.
Oh, interesting.
Two things, which how many people you find that basically have those qualifications.
Oh, that's true. And this one right here, we had been talking about it before because I've been leaking a little bit of air. We thought it was right around my valve. Yeah. And we've been talking about doing this. And I saw this kit, because usually you just get a, fix a flat, and you do your flat tire, right? This one is by a company, it is called Slime, slime.com. And it is the power spare, the 48-piece power spare contains everything.